group of NPFINC, Twitch TV NPFINC, Periscope NPFINC, Twitter NPFINC, LinkedIn NPFINC. That holds the critical mass of more than 20,000 or so. So we are distributing the data. We have been taking the trials for almost an hour or so. Yesterday late evening, we got the consent from the professional, rather an elite faculty in life science and biotech segment, none other than Miss Danielle Lin. She is affiliated with this Facebook profile. She will be watching it a little later. It's an early morning time today, and we will be bringing one of the most famous podcasts of DanielleLin.com, Danielle Lin's talk shows today. Our today's speaker is none other than Mr. Deepak Chopra, and he is not going to talk about medicine, neither of endocrinology, not any other disorder. Today, he is going to speak on the Sufi philosophy about about great Rumi, an Asian philosopher. Be a better interviewer than Danielle Lin. Not wasting any time further, let us walk into the room of the show, and if there is any interruption or a hiccup, we can always take care of the issues a little later. But in the meantime, please do watch this show. You may feel free to contact them directly on their website. Dr. Chopra Foundation has they have their own websites, and DanielleLin.com that will be relaying during the course of this presentation. And we would like to welcome each one of you today. As a New York Times
best-selling author, he's penned such creations as The Path to Love.
And here goes the golden voice of Danielle Lin. Stay tuned, dear friends. I hope this 40 minutes of presentation will give you one of the most memorable and pleasant experiences.
How are you doing today?
Scenario.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Danielle Lin. Joining me for this hour is Deepak Chopra, and I know many of you are familiar with Dr. Chopra's work. He is, what do I say about Dr. Chopra? You know, when you say that word, what connects is human consciousness and mind-body medicine and a transformation of our planet. And of late, I'm sure many of you have had the opportunity of reading his outstanding writings. As a New York Times best-selling author, he's penned such creations as The Path to Love, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and now, in his newest novel, Lords of Light, he will again take you on another journey beyond your own imagination. Well, today, as you can hear, we have a wonderful treat for you. That's all I can say, because when you hear what we will bring to you in this hour, I'm sure your heart will open, your senses will come alive, and we will share with you the great works of the 13th century mystical Persian poet Rumi and his deep, passionate words, because a new generation is coming together of musicians and authors and luminaries in a time when we all know that we need connection.
My heart is burning with love. All can see this flame. My heart is pulsing with passion, like waves on an ocean. My friends have become strangers, and I'm surrounded by enemies. But I'm free as the wind, no longer hurt by those who reproach me. I'm at home, wherever I am, and in the room of lovers, I can see with closed eyes the beauty that dances. Behind the veils, intoxicated with love, I too dance the rhythm of this moving world. I have lost my senses in my world of lovers.
And I'm going to take a lot of this time throughout this program today Deepak, it is so nice to have you on the program.
Thanks so much for having me.
We've got so many things, so many different, I wanted to just, if I could just go through the whole hour, disappear, and leave on the poetry and the amazing words that Rumi speaks and that you have brought to life. And throughout this hour, of course, we're going to play the work that you have created, Deepak and friends. And as we start off, explain who Rumi is and why you decided to go so passionately into his work.
So let me tell you about it. It goes a long time in my own life history. When I was a child growing up in India, my father would take me to poetry sessions in the evenings. And in India, these poetry sessions are there's a special word for them. They're called mushairas. And they're in a tent in the open ground. And great poets are invited to recite their poetry. But one person who was not there, because he lived 1,000 years ago, but his poetry was recited every evening, was this man, Jalaluddin Rumi, who lived in Turkey about 1,000 years ago. He was born in the year 1207, and he was a scholar. He wrote in Farsi or Persian, and his poetry was all about the experience of love. And he was the first one to suggest in the Sufi literature, which is an offshoot of Islam, very similar to the Bhakti Yoga tradition of India, that you can find and have the experience of God and or spirituality simply through the experience of love. He said, if you don't know what spirituality is, just remember a time when you were in love, when you were confused, when you were vulnerable, when you were spontaneous, when you were exposed, when you were transforming, when you were detached from the trivial and mundane, and you were full of wonder. That is what the experience of God and Spirit is. So one of his things that resonated with me when I was a child, and sitting listening to this poetry with my father. My father translated it for me, a Sufi poem from Rumi. In English, it goes like this. It says, the most important thing you can do in your life is to become a passionate lover of life. If you are a lover in life, a passionate lover in life, then you'll be a lover in death, you'll be a lover in the tomb, you'll be a lover on the day of resurrection, you'll be a lover in paradise, you'll be a lover forever. And if you have not known how to be a passionate lover in life, then don't count your life as having been lived. On the day of reckoning, it will not be counted. And my father said, listen to this many times. So all my life, my writings have been, Rumi is like a muse for me. I just have to listen to his words, and it immediately opens up a whole realm of creativity and vision for me. So before I write, I usually meditate, I read some of his poems, or I now listen to the CD that you were just playing, and, off I go.
It's hard not to go off. I was in my office the other day. Now, I'm in a building. It's a corporate building. My office, of course, does not look corporate at all. It's feng shuied. It's got things hanging. Right. It's painted in wild red colors. And I have this music, and, of course, I have it up as loud as I could possibly have it. And it's melting through the hallways. And people were leaving their offices to come into my office to try and find out what was going on here.
The experience. And, it's in a way you go off, but what also happens is you actually step out of the way, and spirit starts to express itself.
Now there are let's talk about some of the people that came together to do this work. These are your friends.
Yeah, the way it started was, actually it's also a very interesting story. The way it started was I was doing a seminar in Beaver Creek, Colorado, called The Seduction of Spirit. And at the seminar, I was quoting Rumi, and a Sufi scholar came to me and he said, there are some love poems of Rumi that have never been translated in English. So you and I could get together and do this thing. So I said, of course, I'd love to do it. So, we started working on it. I had the manuscript done in a few months. Around the time that the manuscript was completed, Madonna was visiting the Chopra Center just for a weekend of R&R. And I noticed that she went downstairs to our bookstore here, and I happened to glance at her shopping bag, and she had like 3 books on Rumi. And I said, I didn't realize that you read Rumi. She said, I love his poetry. I said, I've done a new translation of Rumi. She said, you're kidding. So I gave her the translation. She called me back the next day after she had left, and she said, those poems are very musical. And I said, well, if you really think so, then I have an idea. We should put them to music. Will you help me?
Have I an idea for you?
So that's how it started, and then we called everyone, and everybody, it's so interesting, everybody chose their own poem. No 2 people chose the same poem, because they obviously connected with the poem on a very personal basis. And not only did they say yes, they were enthusiastic. They said, we are honored and privileged to do this.
Well, let me read some of the names of the people that you will hear on this CD. Madonna, Demi Moore, Goldie Hawn, Martin Sheehan, Deborah Winger, Rosa Parks, Robert Thurman, Coleman Barks. The lineup of people who came together who bring so much soul. Besides now Adam Plack is the one, we're going to take a break in about 30 seconds, but Adam Plack he's part of the musical fabric of it, right?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you about him when we come back. And Rosa Parks, look at that, the civil rights leader of this country reciting Rumi.
Well, we're going to take a break. We're talking with Dr. Deepak Chopra and the great poet Rumi. This CD is called A Gift of Love, and throughout this hour you will hear the music of The Gift of Love. And if you do not go out and buy this, I can tell you that a part of your life will still have a space in it that needs to be filled. I'm Danielle Lin, and there is so much more coming your way in this hour, so stay with us as we listen more.
Hey, listen up. It's time to love your heart. Go to clevelandclinic.org/loveyourheart and learn what really matters to that lovable heart of yours.
Don't wait until it's too late to take care of your heart. It's not about fixing problems like high cholesterol or inflammation. It's about preventing them. I am Danielle Lin with a truly special offer, so you can start now to potentially avoid heart-related problems later. It is the most important organ of your body. You cannot live without your heart. I want to introduce you to one of the most significantly researched and documented natural ingredients in the world. It's called persimmon. The benefits of pure persimmon leaf extract powder have been recommended in Asia for centuries for anti-inflammation, anti-hypertension, and protecting heart and cerebral vessels. Now you can try persimmon for only the cost of shipping. No other commitment. We just want you to try it and focus on keeping your heart protected to stay healthy for a long time. Visit longevitybynature.biz. Use the code DLIN. Pay only $6.95. Yep, just shipping. longevitybynature.biz, code DLIN for persimmon. In our search for increasing longevity, we discovered Telos 95 and telomeres. Maybe you've never heard of them. Telomeres are an essential part of our DNA, playing a role in the aging and anti-aging process. They're responsible for warding off major degenerative conditions like heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and cancer. The problem is your telomeres get damaged and become shorter over time, providing less protection for regenerating cells, causing premature aging, those aches and pains, and recovery takes longer. Telos 95 is clinically proven, made from grapevine and organic olive leaf, lengthening telomeres by 80% in just 6 months. It's essential for decreasing cellular aging. Try Telos 95 for free, only the cost of shipping, at longevitybynature.biz. Enter code DLIN10, longevitybynature.biz, or call 877-412-9888. Enter DLIN10 for Telos 95. Regardless of your age and gender, Curazyme is right for everyone to address the wear and tear from living a busy lifestyle. Curazyme is a natural dietary supplement formulated to improve and support overall health and longevity. specifically combined with a highly effective proprietary blend of bioenzymes. Curezyme provides the full spectrum of critical enzymes needed for those who are or are not physically active. Though science clearly shows it is important to keep your body moving and stretching on a regular basis. Many of the enzymes found in Curezyme are naturally produced by your body, but with aging and exposure to life stressors, critical enzymes can get depleted that are essential to initiate and regulate your body's endless biochemical processes, working 24 hours a day to maintain healthy human life. Curezyme aids in relieving stressed joints, tendons, and muscles, gluten, allergy, and dairy-free. It's the natural thing to do. So get moving. Try Curezyme. Notice the difference in how you feel. Available at Curezyme.com, Curezyme.com.
In my hallucination, I saw my beloved's flower garden. In my vertigo, in my dizziness, in my drunken haze, whirling and dancing like a spinning wheel, I saw myself as the source of existence. I was there in the beginning, and I was the spirit of love. Now I am sober. There is only the hangover and the memory of love, and only the sorrow. I yearn for happiness. I ask for help. I want mercy. And my love says, look at me and hear me, because I am here just for that.
Hi there, I'm Danielle Lin, and we are joined today with Deepak Chopra and a gift of love from Rumi and many of his friends who have come together to offer love poems on a new CD that you are going to be introduced to throughout this hour with people like Madonna and Demi Moore and Goldie Hawn and many people who have found the love and the light of Rumi's poetry. And Deepak, it's almost hard to speak after I listen to this because I want to stay drenched in that, and I know that that's the experience that everyone seems to have of Rumi. Before we continue with our conversation, we're talking about you in your write-ups. It tells the story of Rumi, and it's really a spiritual teacher.
Yeah.
But explain that story.
Well, Rumi was a teacher of Islamic studies in the University of Konya in the 1200s, which was in Turkey. And one day he met his own teacher, a man by the name of Shams. And the insights that he got from Shams was so amazing. And he also at that time fell in love with the dervish dancer, that he in a way renounced all his scholastic studies and went deeply into the heart of the experience of spirit. And actually amongst the Sufis, he's regarded as a prophet, and he's revered as a prophet because all his life he just described the path to love, the path to God, to enlightenment through the experience of love. On one occasion, it is recorded that he went into an ecstatic whirl of dervish dancing, and he danced for 48 hours non-stop. And as he danced, he uttered 6,000 poems, and all the scribes at the university had to hurry and write these poems down because he was basically channeling them faster than they could write.
If you've never seen the dervishes swirl, and they wear like almost a dress that turns into like a tube.
Right.
And as they spin and spin, and there's something in the ecstasy of it that just takes you out.
Right. The most important thing it does is it takes your ego out of the way. So you have a direct communion with spirit on a level of equality and sensitivity and open communication. I have attended these dervish dances in Europe and in the Middle East, and I can't tell you the degree of ecstasy that you experience is just beyond belief. It's impossible to describe. And not only that, the ecstatic experience allows the spontaneous channeling of information.
Yeah, I want to read something that was written that you said. Addiction is the number one problem in our culture today. And addiction is just a second-class substitute for the true experience of ecstasy.
Yes, but not only is that part of the tradition that I come from, an insight from Vedanta, which says the reason we incarnate into this material life is to, in a sense, fulfill those addictive behaviors that we have, in a sense, entrained into because we missed the exaltation of our own spirit. And the whole goal of enlightenment is to transcend our addictive behavior by experiencing that exaltation.
And with so much of the Judeo-Christian upbringing that we have in this Western society, we've displaced sensuality and ecstasy for promiscuity and confusion.
We have, and in fact, the promiscuity and confusion is an expression of not really having the true, unbridled, free expression of our spirituality as well as our sensual nature and our sexual experience. Really, in the Judeo-Christian traditions, spirit is considered divine and sexuality or sexual energy is considered profane. So, you have this artificial division between sacred and profane, divine and diabolical, sinner and saint. In the traditions which gave birth to both Sufism and Bhakti Yoga and Tantra, sexual energy is regarded as the creative force of nature. And it is said that whenever you experience passion or excitement or enthusiasm, the word itself means to be in touch with God, on theos. Or when you feel inspired, the word itself means to be in touch with spirit, inspiration. So whenever you feel passion or excitement or enthusiasm or inspiration or arousal or ecstasy, you are in touch with the spiritual and therefore the sexual energy of the universe, which is the creative force of the universe, without which nothing would be alive. And when we are in that ecstatic experience, whether it's in spirituality or in meditation or in relationship or in the sensuous experience of the universe through sound, touch, sight, taste, and smell, or sexuality or passionate love, then we are evoking the same force. There are certain characteristics of this experience. Number one, you escape time-bound awareness and you enter timeless awareness. Number two, you have loss of ego. Number three, you experience yourself in your total naturalness or nakedness. Number four, you have an inner attitude of surrender. And number five, you have communion with not only your own spirit, but with all beings, all sentient beings. And number six, you're defenseless. And what the spiritual master says, if you could be like that all the time, then you would experience genuine ecstasy and you would be in touch with God, to be in the state of timeless awareness, to have no ego boundaries, no need to defend your point of view, being natural in that mode of surrender, communion. That's what ecstasy is.
Last night when I was writing, I was listening to Rumi, and I was writing the show, and these words came out, and basically what it said to me is, I want to throw these words out to you, and I'd like you to respond. We have about just a couple of minutes, so we'll start, and maybe you could just say one or two words.
Okay.
So we'll do a word game.
Okay.
Love.
Ecstasy, union, divinity, enlightenment.
Passion.
Exaltation, joy, God.
Man.
Woman.
Woman.
Man.
Breath.
Human.
Deep.
Deep. Soul.
Hell.
State of awareness as a result of not knowing the truth.
Loneliness.
Not necessary, but solitude, yes.
Aliveness.
Joy, ecstasy, exaltation.
God.
This moment, your highest instinct to know yourself.
So interesting, huh? So love, passion, man, woman, breath, deep, hell, loneliness, aliveness, God. We're going to take a break. I want you to listen to this music. We're talking with Deepak Chopra. And it is from Rumi and A Gift of Love.
Because of your love, I have lost my sobriety. I am intoxicated by the madness of love. In this fog, I have become a stranger to myself. I'm so drunk, I've lost the way to my house. In the garden, I see only your face. From trees and blossoms, I inhale only your fragrance. Drunk with the ecstasy of love, I can no longer tell the difference between drunkard.
I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
I'm Danielle Lin. Stay tuned. DanielleLin.com.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
Hi, I'm Joe Perry. And Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Yeah, you know we love it when the music does the talking.
And you know, the music stops when someone gets killed.
So never let someone you know get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. So keep it real. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you had the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help us get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation. Ah, that's a good one. Get up and dance, baby. If you're driving, pull over to the shoulder. If you're at work, yeah, time to violate the employee handbook. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org, baby. This message is brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I wanted to talk with you and your mom today, Lily, because of some of the changes your friends and teachers have seen in you lately. And along with the incident the other day, you were with Derek when he was caught selling marijuana.
Yeah, he was selling it.
Honey, we know. But we care about you and want to know what's going on.
That's right. We'd like to understand it better and see how we might help. And if weed is a part of it, we want to make sure you know about the negative consequences for someone your age. So, can we talk?
Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
This is Coach Gus Malzahn. In sports, it takes teamwork to have success. As a state and a country, we all need to work together.
This is Coach Bruce Pearl. To help stop the spread of the coronavirus, wash your hands often for 20 seconds and disinfect counters, handles, and mobile phones.
This is Coach Butch Thompson. Be safe at home. The best way to protect yourself and others is by practicing social distancing. Stay home.
Stop the spread.
Save lives.
Hello there, I'm Danielle Lin, and you're listening to A Word on Health. And this program is brought to you today by Nelson Bach, the makers of Bach Flower Essences. And we are here with Deepak Chopra and friends, and there's a new CD out that is available, of course, in bookstores and just about everywhere, Tower Records, and also I'm going to give you a number where you can find it. But I want you to listen to another cut. It's A Gift of Love, and this is Demi Moore, and then we'll come back.
The lover asked his beloved, "Do you love yourself more than you love me?" The beloved replied, "I have died to myself and I live for you. I've disappeared from myself and my attributes. I am present only for you. I've forgotten all my learnings, but from knowing you, I have become a scholar. I have lost all my strength, but from your power, I am able. If I love myself, I love you. If I love you, I love myself."
Demi Moore. I think that Deepak, isn't that number 10 on the Billboard charts or something right now?
A remix of that, which I'm going to send you, is number 1 and number 10 on the Billboard charts.
Did she ever think she was going to be out there as
in fact, I spoke to her 3 days ago, and she said, "Imagine what a few words can do."
Yeah, imagine. But I understand in New York City, in the nightclubs, they're just going wild.
Right, over the remix, yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Here's Rumi, who lived 1,000 years ago. He's now actually, this is a fact, he's the number 1 best-selling poet in America after Shakespeare. Before that, he was outselling Shakespeare as well, till the movie came out, Shakespeare in Love. And now people are dancing to Rumi in nightclubs.
And he was born in, 1207?
1207.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Love. You listen to the news, you hear the unbelievable things that are happening on this planet with people going wild in the streets. Why do you think love, it's so basic to say this, why is love so important? What happens when you don't?
Well, even the people going insane and expressing all their hatred is a yearning for love. When people act that way, when people act like tyrants, and when people act with hatred, what they're crying out for is love. That's an expression of love that they never got, and so they don't know what they're doing, basically. That's why, Christ had this famous saying, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." They're acting from the level of awareness they're in, and they never receive that nourishment that we all get from love. There are studies that love heals. If you watch Mother Teresa on television, it stimulates your immune system for a fact. The IgA levels in your blood, in your saliva go up. Love evokes healing from your inner pharmacy, which makes wonder drugs. Love renews you. It alters your biological age. Love makes you feel safe. Love brings you closer to God. So love is the primeval force in nature. It's the ultimate force in nature. It's not a mere sentiment. It's the ultimate truth at the heart of creation, which is unity consciousness, which means that you and I are not just the same stuff in different disguises. We're the same being in different disguises.
Do you think that something's going to actually, everyone's talking about the millennium. I think in our hearts, people want something to happen.
Right. Actually, Danielle, I should tell you that we are planning a 4-hour event on television before the millennium from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight, 5 hours on television on the December 31st of this year, and the intent is to open up the heart chakra of the world, the collective intent for healing, for love, for transformation, for laughter, for experiencing the peace that we all want. We're going to have messages from world luminaries, from children from all over the world, and we're going to have some amazing meditation and collective intent at that time also.
So where are you going to do that from?
We're going to do it from the Marquee Hotel in Palm Desert, but we are going to be on television. It'll be advertised well in advance so people can tune in. We're going to have messages from His Holiness the Dalai Lama and from children from all over the world and from the Pope, and we're even going to go to Saddam Hussein and all these so-called tyrants of the world and ask them what is their dream for healing the world.
The Dalai Lama, I read that he said we believe we're on a precipice of great transformation, that we are entering a time of dialogue, great dialogue among people. What do you think that really means?
Well, it means that there's a critical mass of people who are reaching a stage of evolution in their consciousness where they're recognizing that our collective intent and our dialogue, that is our conversation, can start a new listening. And when that new listening happens, we will not only have insights that will bring about spontaneous mutations in our own being, but these insights will then transform the world. Literally, even our cognitive and perceptual mechanisms will change, so that the world we experience will be much more magical, much more full of wonder and enchantment, and there will be healing and love in it, and it's our intent to do that. And when that intent reaches a critical mass, then the whole world transforms. And today, for the first time, we have the ability to do that because of communication, because of technology, because this is what people want, but you need to have that collective coherence in our consciousness.
We haven't talked much about the center. In fact, we haven't talked about it at all. But I remember when you started coming on our program and you were living in the East in Massachusetts, and then you made a big transformation in your own life and opened the Chopra Center for Wellbeing. It's actually located in La Jolla, right?
Yeah, right. And in the village in La Jolla, it's a place where people come for healing and transformation and spiritual courses, but also we have programs for cancer patients, for heart patients, for people who want to lose weight, for people who want to get rid of addictive behavior. There's a lot of activity at the center all around the clock, and actually you can find out what's going on by going on the World Wide Web at chopra.com. We also have free lectures for the public. We have satsangs with famous people, including Rosa Parks and luminaries from all over the world, and they're just open to the public. Anyone can come.
Well, let me, if you just grab your pen, because I want to give you some information. Chopra, I'm sure you know how to spell it, but it's Chopra, and it's the Chopra Center for Wellbeing. Also, I've been getting emails from all over the world. It is so incredible. I got an email from Beijing. And no, it's terrific. People listening and tuning into our website, and a lot of people ask me for numbers and to please repeat them slowly. You can find A Gift of Love. It's Deepak and Friends, and it's the love poems of Rumi. And there are so many. There's 36 actual poems on here, right, Deepak?
33 poems and 3 soundtracks.
Okay.
At the end.
And they're each Let me just read some of the people that are on here. Martin Sheehan, Blythe Donner, Goldie Hawn, Deepak Chopra, some of the names that you might not know, Laura Day, Sonia Son, Deborah Winger. Each of these people have come together, and it must have been so... And where did you record this?
In New York, in a studio, we got everybody there. It was just a little big jamming session.
Was everybody there at the same time?
Sometimes they were, yeah.
That must have been so incredible. And the people who... Now, Raja. Is it Raja? Raza.
Reza. He's a Persian singer, yes. He's an extraordinary voice. I think before we end the program, we're going to play number 26. You'd hear him.
Right. Okay. So we'll hear that. And I'll tell you what, let's take we're going to start on one of the other cuts. And this is Jared Harris.
Yeah, son of Richard Harris.
Okay.
Sir Richard Harris.
Looking for Your Face. We're going to play this as we take a break. I'm talking with Deepak Chopra, and I'm Danielle Lin.
From the beginning of my life, I have been looking for your face. But today, I have seen it. Today I've seen the charm, the beauty, the unfathomable grace of the
I'm Danielle Lin. Stay tuned. DanielleLin.com. Introducing Quercifit, the most bioavailable form of quercetin, a natural supplement that supports healthy balance to prevent oxidative stress that can wear your body down. Think of a fresh cut apple, right? How fast it turns brown? That process happens in your body. If you're an athlete or someone who worked out hard, exposure to air pollution in many cities of the world, or under high stress from lifestyle pressures, these activities and exposures can lead to a compromised immune system, lower recovery after physical performance, even respiratory conditions that leave you vulnerable. Recent studies have shown that Quercifit from Indina, a phytonutrient found in numerous plants, apples, onions, and tea, offers significant benefits as a potent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and immune modulator to guard against free radical damage from oxidation and natural exposure in daily life. Quercifit has been proven to support your immune function, respiratory strength, gut biome, and contributes to the healthy aging process. Available from Thorne, ProCaps, and Life Extension. Quercifit for the well-lived life.
Battling sinus, bronchial disorders, allergies, and other seasonal irritants can be a constant struggle, making this the season when you need Oreganol P73 the most. Nature's most powerful natural remedy. Get the blast of wild nature you need with the only wild Mediterranean oregano extract, Oreganol P73 from North American Urban Spice. After being tested, both the USDA and the FDA agree Oreganol P73 is powerful. North American Urban Spice knows it's powerful as well and knows P73 is just what you need. When you take P73, you'll experience its cleansing power. You'll smell the fresh mountain-grown aroma and feel its effectiveness. The Greeks used wild oregano for their health, not just spice, and called it oreganos, the delight of the mountain. Oreganol P73 is 100% wild, hand-picked Mediterranean oregano. Do not accept cheap imitations. Use Oreganol P73 and stay healthy all year long. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
There is nothing more important than your health. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's an easy thing to say, but navigating the path to wellness and balance can take years of trial and error to know what works best for your body and lifestyle, especially if you're living with aching or sore joints. That's where Mariva comes in. Combining science and Mother Nature, Mariva from Indina addresses oxidative stress and free radical damage at the source with superior bioavailability, reliable and effective, so that you can feel the difference. With 36 clinical studies and 10 years of research, Mariva represents the greatest breakthrough in curcumin in the world, independently endorsed by the Cleveland Clinic, containing natural active components that modulate healthy inflammatory response signals and support ache management, so you get the relief you need. Guaranteed results and consistent quality from Indina, celebrating 100 years committed to improving the quality of life. For more information, visit Mariva.info, MERIVA, from Indina. Life should be simple and uncomplicated. That's what Pines, the wheatgrass people, believe. Staying true to this philosophy has built an eco-conscious company for over 40 years. supplying the most pristine wheatgrass products in the world in balance with Mother Nature. Nurture your body, get rest, drink pure, clean water, and pay attention to the season. That's the Pines way. Tending their fields, they keep life in mind while nurturing the soil, planting at the right time and harvesting during the perfect moment. Nothing is more natural than Pines wheatgrass. Grown with care and the love of life keeps Pines wheatgrass and barley products sustainable, rich with the vital components to help your body utilize its maximum potential. For a simply refreshing cool beverage, or your favorite recipe for breakfast, or a homemade NutriBar to refuel, keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it green. That's the Pines Wheatgrass way at natural product stores or wheatgrass.com. I'm Danielle Lin. Stay tuned. DanielleLin.com. Welcome to a whole new you. For years you've heard me talk about pycnogenol, one natural ingredient derived from French maritime pine bark, grown in the most pristine forest, tended with care and protected in nature. A nutritional profile with over 160 clinical trials, plus more than 450 scientific publications. There is no other natural supplement in the world with this kind of substantiation and longevity, proven by over 40 years of serving human health. Pycnogenol is documented to be one of the safest ingredients for health and well-being, supporting your heart, joints, cognitive function, and skin. And not just for women. Maybe you're an athlete focusing on performance and endurance. This foundational nutrient has a profile that's rare because it works in partnership with your entire vascular system. So just one supplement covers so much ground. It's like adding the best soil to your garden. Feed your body at the source with Pycnogenol. Pycnogenol. Pycnogenol.com. I'm Danielle Lin, and you're listening to A Word on Health, and Deepak Chopra is here today with a gift of love. It's a new CD, and it's Deepak and Friends, and I want to play one more cut before we go back into the last segment, and this is cut 26. It's Sonia San, and it's the agony and ecstasy of divine discontent, and then we'll come back and wrap up our hour together. A little bit. As I said, Deepak Chopra is joining us, and I know a lot of times I don't, I want to get you to grab your pen now because I haven't even given our website throughout this hour, and our website will be linked to Chopra.com, so you can get into and find out more about Rumi and, of course, where the CD is available in the Chopra Center for Wellbeing. But our website is DanielleLin.com, and you can dial this program up when you hear it on the weekend if you missed part of it or you want to tell a friend across the world about this program and this hour and Rumi. You can just dial it up. Danielle Lin, and my name is spelled DanielleLin. And when you dial in there, we will link it so that you can find the Chopra Center, as I said, at Chopra.com. So either way, you can get in to find out about Rumi and this new CD that is out there. And Deepak, and we're running out of time here, but I just got in the mail Lords of Light. And this is kind of strange to me to get it. It's like a John Grisham novel.
It is on the one hand, but it's also about our collective shadow. It's about how our personal shadow and our collective shadow is responsible for the evil in the world. Until we are ready to accept that, we will not solve the problems that we see as evil out there. The tyrants and the genocide and the random killings are nothing other than the expression of our inability to embrace and go past our secret passages and dark alleys and the ghost-filled attics in our own minds.
Deepak, what drives you?
The desire for enlightenment.
And how close are you?
Who knows? Who knows?
We spend our whole lives looking for enlightenment, and it's right here.
Right.
It's when you know somebody, even at the I met you so briefly, and then you've been on the program off and on for years. I think the most wonderful thing about seeing people, and people do feel like they know you to some degree because they read you, they follow, they enliven their own beings with your work. For me, it's so interesting and so wonderful to watch even you as a person just keep growing and changing in your style of writing. And
yeah, it's a fascinating process for me too. When I look back over some of the stuff I wrote many years ago, I also see that evolution. It's quite amazing to me.
I remember when you were on with Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, and Quantum Healing, and now I look at Lords of Light. And that's it. To me, that's the most exciting part of this journey, is to keep evolving.
Yes, that's the only reason to exist.
So, Lord of Light and Rumi and the Center and family, how do you have your time structured so you can actually manage all this? And
it's funny. I don't plan it, and I don't even, don't know. If you ask me what are you doing tomorrow, I'll find out tomorrow. Fortunately, I have really good staff, and they tell me in the morning what I'm supposed to do. But I wake up every morning with the perpetual surprise that I exist.
I remember once I said I was going to see you somewhere, and you said, "Oh, really? I'll be there?"
Yes.
To live so gracefully and easily, and to say, oh, "Okay, I'll be there. Great. Just tell me where to go," and not have the stress about being there and where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
One final word for you as we run out the door. Give us your final thought.
My final thought is that we are here to give joy to each other. That, death is stalking us every time you look behind your shoulder. Death is closer. So every moment is precious, and if you were aware of your physical mortality, not your spiritual mortality, because spirit is immortal, but if you were aware of your physical mortality every moment, aware that death is stalking you, then your life would be magical, because your priorities would be peace and harmony and laughter and love.
And on that note, we will once again tune into A Gift of Love. And Deepak, I'll talk to you, and we'll see you at the Chopra Center for Wellbeing. And thanks so much.
Thank you.
We are the mirror as well as the face in it. We are tasting the taste this minute of eternity.
A Gift of Love, the poetry of Rumi, with Deepak and friends. And don't forget, if you'd like to add your name to our mailing list to receive any of the free samples or information or any of the things that we talked about today on the program, all you have to do is dial 800-229-3546, and we'll get those off to you. And it takes about 3 to 5 weeks to receive any of the goodies, and then your name is on our list for 90 days. Again, that number is 800-229-3546, and please make sure to leave your phone number along with your address, and we'll get those things off in the mail. And you will also find this program rebroadcast always on the web at DanielleLin.com, and my name is spelled DanielleLin. Put them together, it's DanielleLin.com. And please tell your friends about it all around the world. And for those of you who've emailed me lately from Beijing and incredible places, thank you so much for tuning in.
What? Right here, on the side of the house.
Who said that?
Look down. I'm right at your feet.
Wait, the basketball?
Yes, the basketball. Right down here, where the kids left me a long time ago. Man, you know how lonely it is being a ball and not being able to bounce or roll?
Excuse me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You said, now kids, you have no excuse not to go outside and play.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'll miss flying through the air and hearing the shouts of joy when I swish through the basket. What do you say? Could you give me a little air and remind the kids of how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, wow. You are flat.
Easy, I'm ticklish. Let's get bouncing.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
I'm Danielle Lin, DanielleLin.com.
Thank you so very much, dear friends. It was indeed a pleasure to have a wonderful show and a wonderful production. There were a couple of hiccups. It was a trial run today to provide the proof of concept to one of the biggest podcaster of present time, Miss Danielle Lin. And one after another, we intend to bring eminent faculties all over the world. Take-home messages as late as Sufficient said once that yesterday I was clever. So I wanted to change the world, but today I'm wiser, so I'm changing myself. Very wisely said. Traditional wisdom and legacy do provide us an opportunity to evolve us further. And who could be the better speaker? Those who can embolden, those who can enlighten the masses all over the world, other than Dr. Deepak Chopra, the highest seller of several publications all over the world. It was an in-deep honor for NPR Fans and Network today to provide the proof of concept. In days to come, we will be smoking the data through various Facebooks, Periscope, Twitch TV, multiple channel, multi-track, multi-channel with the refined quality of voice and equally good quality of the presentations, 4K resolution throughout the scientific domain all across the world. Today's maximum contributions and the viewership came to us through LinkedIn Live. We are very proud of having LinkedIn Live in the product basket of NPR Fans. Show was live all across the world. Chopra, Dr. Deepak Chopra, Madonna, the world-renowned artist, pay tribute to the great sagas of the history in the mankind. And we have a deep honor today that we could bring one such saga story from none other than our Dr. Deepak Chopra, a very, very familiar name all across North America. So I thank you so much. Stay tuned. We will keep bringing one after another equally eminent faculties. And unless you are not into it, you should. We are not counting the viewership. Viewership just comes once we plug in Periscope TV or any other TV terminal. We are not worried about that. What we look for is the quality of viewership in order to promote the brand concept and true science all across the globe. So thank you so very much for your time today, and we look forward to welcome you again in days to come. Thanks.